With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
Looking at anything, man. Well, that's a lie. What's up, man? How you doing, man? What's up? How's everything going?
Why are you looking at me like
What's
that?
up, pal? How's everything going?
What do you want, dog?
Nothing,
Why are you here? What do you want, man?
Just ask you how your week was going, man. How's everything going, man?
I shut this shit down right now. We're not about to do that. I'm well, man. My week's been good.
You got good health. You blessed.
This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B, what's up, man? I couldn't wait to do this show.
Why?
Sunday night. I want to tell you. I want to be honest with you. I was having a rough Sunday. Every bet I put in didn't make no money.
Man, that's crazy.
Every fantasy,
as you shouldn't, but whatever.
Every fantasy league that I play in, I took an L. Universal, all 6 or 7 leagues, I'll count them up later. All I know is I lost everywhere. And I lost big everywhere, right? You know what I mean? Just like it wasn't just 1 point here, 2 point here. I got my ass whooped in every fantasy league that I was in.
Right.
To top that off, we had a battle that same week. I got my ass kicked in that battle.
Well,
but by you, right?
So
I was just like, man, I have been getting my ass whooped all week long. Just something. And it was like God spoke to me because he was like,
oh my God. God spoke to you.
Yeah. He let me know. He was like, yo, if these 49ers go out here and lose this game, you would never hear the end of this. So I was ecstatic. I was over the moon. I was so happy that we beat y'all that I almost called out of work the next day because I was just so excited.
You was gonna call out of work?
Yeah. I was gonna start celebrating like it was the Super Bowl. I mean that win really. It was that serious, man.
So can I say I was gonna like cancel the show. We wasn't gonna record today. I was like, I've been thinking of like my exit strategy for like the last 48 hours. I've been thinking like, damn, I could get sick. I could just not show up. I won't bring my computer. I could forget. I could just, I had to practice late. I was trying to come up with something, but I was like, you know what? I'm a man. And it's only week 5, so I was like, it is what it is. He gonna talk, and I just gotta listen. So the floor is yours. You still got the floor.
So I'm not gonna talk too much, right? Because like you said, it is week 5, and there's a possibility that we see y'all in the playoffs, and it's just we're just gonna move back into just we'll cover. I got my gloat in. You know what it was. I appreciate that. Hey, that's a compliment. Now I'm dressed like the 3rd string Packer. That's a compliment. I could probably go out there and play better than Jordan Love.
Oh man, So let's. So I mean, we're gonna talk about the 49ers Cowboys game. Because there's a lot to unpack there aside from 42-10, right?
Okay.
I think that there's other things in regards to that game, the teams that we do need to talk about. Because it's how can I say it? I feel like we already said there's a Cowboys bias, right? We kind of agree there, but it's another part of it that I do want to talk about that it's been annoying me. And it would have happened. It would have happened whether we won the game or lost the game, right? So because they're always going to find something wrong, whether it's Dak or whatever. Before I even continue, I want to say Tony Pollard played like a weenie. I won't even say the words that I really do want to say, but Tony Pollard should have got a lot of smoke from other media outlets. But I knew they were gonna get on Dak no matter what. It was gonna be on Dak.
So let me say something about that. I agree with you, but I think your understanding of football brought you to that opinion a little bit faster than most people, right? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So most people they're looking at the game. Tony Pollard. I'm not going to say he's a household name, but most people know he's a starting running back, and people will look at stats, right? So one thing that you broke down that you were right was he wasn't running with any aggression. Mm-hmm. He was like dropping the ball. Like you were more looking at what a coach will look at, and that's effort, right? And I felt like he didn't put forth his best effort. And I think we're in agreement there.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Like, yes, Dak played bad, but so did the O-line, so did the receivers, so did the defense, so did the coaches. I mean, there was enough room, there was enough blame to go around. That's how I personally feel. And I do agree that Dak didn't play well, but.
So I got one question for you. I've been waiting to ask you. So as a 49er fan, I look at the Dallas Cowboys, right? And I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to act like it's not a talented team and it's not a good team or whatnot. What always terrifies me to death is CeeDee Lamb, right? And I feel like we really don't, even though we held him in check for the most part this game, he's, in my opinion, the most valuable weapon that the Cowboys have.
Correct.
I, for the life of me, don't understand why they don't try to get him more involved in the offense. Now, I get that I'm not going to – I don't really know off the top of my head the stats that he has this year, and I'm assuming that
he only had 5 targets, and that's nowhere near enough.
Right, and somebody that – whether you agree with this or not, I think CeeDee Lamb is easily top 10 receiver in the league right now, top 10 talent at least, right? There's no reason why he shouldn't be the focal point of that offense. Or
correct.
He should almost, in my mind, be force-fed like a Justin Jefferson, a Chase.
And I was going to get Diggs, to that too.
A Brown. He's in that tier of those type of players as far as talent, right? And I'm not going to get into production and who has more touchdowns, but I will say that he's an elite talent that should be getting the ball more. Absolutely. And I couldn't understand why that wasn't the game plan, or it wasn't in the game plan.
Yeah, I honestly, I can't even tell you what the game plan was. It was that. We probably had no motion. We wasn't. It was just stagnant. First of all, it was the easiest offense to defend. I mean, we didn't make the linebackers work. It was whatever.
But they spread the ball out too much, right? So there's enough talent on that team to where they can get the play action going. They can get the tight end involved. They've got. I mean, people are really not keen on their other receivers, but I think that they have some talented receivers that they could get the ball to. I just was puzzled by how much talent the Cowboys have, and I know people would disagree with that, and they're lacking of getting them more involved in the game plan. Like you have weapons, like it's not like you don't have like weapons that can force another team to defend, you know?
Right. So, and you're right. But don't be surprised if on Monday night, CeeDee Lamb has about 12 to 15 targets.
Okay, so let's get to that, right?
No, before we even get to that, I need to address something. So you got, I already knew, there's the usual suspects. It's Stephen A. Smith, now LaShawn McCoy, now is Dante Whitner, right? And my thing is this, right? Not necessarily Stephen A. Smith, but yeah, he's included in that. But the lack of respect for a black man, right? The lack of respect for a black man. Forget him being a football player. So these guys, last year, LaShawn McCoy went on this show and said Dak was ass, la 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 la, and I had my thoughts on that. I always thought it was unprofessional, right? I mean, you could talk about his game, you could talk about what he does or what he doesn't do. Then Dante Whitner goes on, and I think he was on a San Francisco affiliate of NBC or whatever, and he just said that sucks, and I'm like, what are you doing? So, and I started to think, and I remember him playing for the Redskins at the time. They were the Redskins, they're the Commanders now. And matter of fact, it was Dak's rookie year, and I mean Dak literally stiff-armed him to the ground, through the ground. And I get it. He played for the for a rival, but when a few weeks ago, when what's his name? They used to play for the Chargers and the Patriots. That's on NBC Football Night. Rodney Harrison. Okay. Do you remember when he said Zach Wilson is trash? Remember that? He went on TV and said Zach Wilson is trash, and all these people said, how could you say that on TV? How could you do that? Say that about another player? You were a former player, la da 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 da, right? And I'm thinking to myself, damn, Zach Wilson ain't done half the shit that Dak has done. Like, and anybody can say what they want about Dak, right? You can say whatever you want, but what you can say is he's been to the playoffs more times than he hasn't been. He's won, what did he win? Rookie of the Year. He's accomplished a lot, right? He's won a division. Shit, damn near every year he's been a starter that he played a full season. So it's just weird to me, especially like black men just demeaning other black men on TV.
So I will say this, right? It does go a little bit far, and yeah, he's not judged fairly. So I'll say
right.
that. But I also have to point out too that it's becoming abundantly clear that he may not be the quarterback that needs to lead that team anywhere. And is
how? Yeah. I want to hear because I want to hear the reasons why or
okay.
how.
Okay.
And then and okay, go ahead. My fault.
So honestly, it's starting to look like the moments get too big for him. And okay. I mean, people could be dismissive, but that's what people are seeing is when it's time for him to produce. Mm-hmm. Because this game meant a lot, right? And it's part of the reason why it meant so much. I mean, aside from it being your team, being my mm-hmm. team, we put you guys out the playoffs. We've made him look bad last year, right? So mm-hmm. the year before, I don't think he looked that bad, right? This is the type of game that you work out all preseason for. You circle on the calendar.
Okay.
You want your get back. And again, like you said, the game plan may have been off. It's a lot of blame.
There wasn't no game plan, dog. They was just out there.
Okay.
It wasn't no game plan.
So that's fair, right? So
let me say this. So just for example, because we talk about game plan. Right before the half, it's 3rd and 4. Right before the 2-minute warning, it's 3rd and 4. Mind you, Tony Pollard's not in the game, right? I think you got 2 tight ends and whatever. And they run zone left, 3rd and 4. So I'm thinking when they ran, I'm like, why are they running the ball? And they got to the 2-minute warning. I think we got like a yard. So I'm thinking, because that was a play call that you call knowing that you're gonna go for it on 4th down. We didn't go for it. We came back from the 2-minute warning and kicked the field goal. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what are we doing? So, but go ahead. I'm sorry. That's not on Dak.
So it's not on Dak, but I think what's clear is if things don't change, either Mike McCarthy or Dak has got to go. Now, they've got the rest of the season, right?
Yep.
And I believe Monday is a must-win game for the Cowboys.
And I would say I think Monday, because of who's calling the plays on the other side, is they better not have that game plan they had, be especially with Kellen Moore on the other side.
So I want to tell you, I have the Cowboys, right? I think the Cowboys are going to beat the Chargers. But I heard an interesting statistic today that I will share.
Okay.
After teams play the 49ers, they're 2-18.
Yeah. And I think over the last 2 seasons.
Over the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, I don't think anybody won except for the Chiefs last year.
Yeah.
No, Matt, I don't think anybody won after playing the 49ers. But go ahead. And also the Cowboys haven't lost 2 games in a row in 3 years. But
I do think Brandon Staley will figure out how to lose that game, right? I am almost confident that I could put money on Brandon Staley will find some way to screw up.
Brandon Staley's that's a whole nother subject we got to talk about later.
Yeah, I mean, so I think his intentions be all right. It's just the team, when they go out there, like his plans look so terrible because it's just like, dang, they wasn't even close in executing that or whatnot. So I do feel like that's going to be critical, right? And you're going up against arguably one of the worst head coaches is still coaching because yeah, I mean from an execution standpoint, and as far as like a decision making standpoint, like he may be an X's and O's guy, but when he gets in the game, he's going to do something stupid at least one time a game.
Right.
So you can't lose that guy.
Yeah. I mean, but they still have a good team. So I get it. I get it. And I mean, we lost Diggs for the year. What you call is going on the IR. Van Der Esch, who I don't care. But they don't have Mike Williams. So that's a big deal. But I guarantee you that what's his name? Keenan Allen is gonna have at least 15 targets. They're gonna throw him the ball. They're gonna throw him the ball. Yeah. So they better find a way. They better find a way to get CeeDee Lamb the ball. But yeah. I feel like, and we won't stay on this too much longer, but I feel like Dak needs to step up. I'm not saying that he's playing well, but there are also other quarterbacks that aren't playing well that some may be playing worse that don't get the coverage. You know, I don't feel like Josh Allen is playing that well. You know, but I feel like Russell Wilson is playing well. His defense just happens to stink now. You know.
So let's shift there, right? And I do agree. I think that's what people like myself who, I like Dak, right? You know what I mean? I don't have any ill will to him, but I do agree that we're just waiting on him to step up. And maybe that game was a wake up call. We'll see. It's
a long season. It's a lot. It's a lot of games. It was week 5, and that was the one thing. I don't think Cowboys need to overreact. I heard things today, like mind you, 3 weeks ago, a lot of these people had the Cowboys at 1, but they couldn't wait for them to lose. It didn't matter who they lost. They couldn't wait for them to lose to knock them out of whatever ranking that they got, which I don't care about. But the same people that had him at 1 just 2-3 weeks ago say they need to fire the coach, trade Dak, and blow it all up. I'm like, wait, what? I just, there's like certain things. It's just like, what blow it all up?
Right.
Like, that doesn't even make any sense. So
let's talk here, right? So the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Broncos lost to the Jets.
They did.
They looked pretty terrible in that game. So right now there's a lot of talk about Russell Wilson, which I personally don't think he's looked that bad. Now, can he play a little bit better for the money that he's getting? Yeah, if I was a Broncos fan, I wouldn't want him to play a little bit better.
Right.
But that defense is atrocious. And this is just my opinion. Sean Payton, he's the head coach.
He is the head coach.
He may not be the defensive coordinator, but he damn sure hired the defensive coordinator. That's his guy, man.
That is his guy.
He's accountable for that, and that's on him. You know, the offense again hasn't looked great.
Well, in the first half, they have one of the best offenses in the league. It's the second half when I don't know if the team's making the adjustments or they're not making any adjustments. But Russell Wilson is like one of the highest rated quarterbacks in the first half this season.
The plays are taking too long to develop. And Russell Wilson is not the same Russell Wilson that he was 10 years ago. Like, he's not going to sit back and scramble and, you know, just – I call it almost like the A-Rod effect, right? You know what I mean? Those guys just sit back there, dance around, and then they make a play out of nowhere. It's just the offense stinks, right? So they've got the Chargers, old offensive coordinator, who was basically let go. Right. And then they got Vance Joseph, who was the Cardinals DC for the past 4 years, which I don't recall. Maybe I'm missing something, but I don't remember the Cardinals really having the best defense the last couple of years. Right. So he comes in and he handpicks both of these guys, and your offense looks terrible. Your defense
is worse.
Yeah, your defense is. I mean, they're averaging, and now keep in mind they had that 70-point game, so it's going to skew the numbers a little bit, but they're giving away 36 points.
Listen, the fact that they gave up 70 points in a game says a lot. In most of our lifetimes, 70 points hadn't been scored.
I'll tell you how bad this defense is, right? And people, you're welcome to disagree with me. The first 2 weeks of the season, we were talking about how terrible Justin Fields looked, how terrible Zach Wilson looked. Justin Fields, yeah, they may have made some coaching adjustments, but he looked like all pro against that defense.
Yeah.
And Zach Wilson had me looking at the TV like, dang, maybe he's not that bad. But I thought about it, I was like, it's the Denver defense.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Patrick Surtain, I take him. He ain't terrible. He's the one bright spot on that defense. Now, and what people don't realize also is that defense, which was good last year, had some other pieces that they don't have anymore, right? They don't have Bradley Chubb anymore. They lost, I think, 2 of their linebackers. It's, you know, so I mean,
so if you're Denver, right? What do you do?
If you got to do something drastic, it's not going to be Russell Wilson. I think it's you fire Vance Joseph. The defense stinks. Like, the defense is bad. You know, they can't stop the run. Like, what's his name? Breece Hall. First play out of halftime. He had like a 78-yard touchdown run. And I don't even know if he was touched.
Okay, so without question, you fire Vance Joseph.
I think you do that before you do anything else.
So I don't know if you necessarily need to fire him in season. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Gave up 70 points. You give up over 200 yards on the ground, and You're giving up big plays.
But is it time to just say, you know what? We missed on everything. Let's blow this up and figure out. Or you think that, or you have that much confidence in Sean Payton that he could figure this out?
That's why they brought him there. Now I would they probably gonna end up trading Jerry Jeudy. I think that he should have been gone. Your running game is blah. I don't think you need to blow it up because I don't think that okay. I'm not being emotional here. But I think they find a way to win the game tomorrow.
Against the Chiefs?
Yes.
So, it's funny that you bring that up, right?
Don't tell me.
So look, I have strong trust issues with betting on the Broncos. I wouldn't bet on them, right? So I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
But the Chiefs, Travis Kelce is questionable.
Right. Who else going to get? Last time they played on Thursday, he didn't play. I don't think the Lions and the Chiefs are that far apart. I'm not saying that. I think the Lions are better, but.
So I'm going to quote my good friend Phil that's in the audience, right?
Okay.
And he's absolutely correct when he says this. The Chiefs do play with their food.
No, absolutely.
They
absolutely. They would let a inferior team stay in the game just because.
When he said that, I gotta give him his credit. I was like, it was like a light bulb just went off, and I was like, you know what? He's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
They do.
Just think about it. Just think over the last few years, they lost to the Colts. Colts were absolutely terrible last year. They went to overtime with the Texans. And I'm sure they had another game that I can't think about. But even the Jets and Zach Wilson gave them a run. Could have easily won that game. So it's like, it's not far-fetched to say that the Broncos could win tomorrow.
Yeah, but then there's another X factor, right? You got Patrick Mahomes going against easily the worst defense in the league this year.
It ain't even gonna matter, yo.
I mean,
I don't think it matters. This is a division game. You can't forget that it's a division game, and the Chiefs don't blow out the Broncos. They just don't. Like even last year, I want to say they won by a point and won by 3 points, or won by 2 points and won by 3 points. They've been close games.
We'll see.
So here's the thing.
But I think the Broncos covering the spread, like Phil said, that's a pretty safe.
So here's the thing. You're a new-founded member of the Bet 365 group. And they have a
those are my guys.
So a lot of like these betting things like Bet 365, they have you place a money line bet, and that one is you go up 17, you win the bet automatically no matter what happens. I think DraftKings is like 10 points. You go up 10. Listen, man. I'm taking the Broncos money line. Hey, listen, y'all. The last 3 Thursdays, I done hit. Phil is there. He'll tell you. The last 3 Thursdays, I done hit. So if you want to win a little bit of money, Broncos money line, baby. I'm taking it. Man, I'm doing it right now.
You know what?
Broncos money line.
You know what? I want to be honest with you. I want to do it too because whatever the hell I'm doing is not working. I swear, right? So we're in these group chats in the betting, and we all see each other's bets. And I've been studying you, Abdul. And I was just like, yo, they're so strategic when it comes to this stuff. I was like, man, I was just giving my money away. I was like, Jesus Christ. And I mean, it don't be no huge totals or anything, but
still.
A loss is a loss, man.
You could. I'm telling you now. Every times, man, you're like, man, I want just to get a win, just so I can see that green. I don't want to see no red X no more. Look. Hey, I don't do this. I did hit the Lions. Dang, you're right. So I don't do this often, right? But I've seen people do it where it may be like a minus 3,000, and somebody's just gonna take it. It's a sure bet, damn near. It's a sure. I guess nothing is really a sure bet, but that's the surest it's gonna get. And I put $10 on that joint. $10, you winning like 3 cents.
Yeah, nah.
You know, so
I do have something that I wanted to bring up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking Sean Payton with the Broncos,
right?
And we got we talked Mike McCarthy,
mm-hmm.
And now Bill Belichick is catching a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I put those three into the same category is, of course, Bill Belichick, he's the greatest coach of all time. I think most people can at least say that. But there's been a lot of talk, and how can you coach after your Hall of Famer departs, right? So you look at Sean Payton, and I think it's a fair assessment. Since Drew Brees is retired, his teams have not looked well. Now, you could say that the Saints at the time weren't really in a good position or whatnot. We're looking at, I mean, hell, in Denver, he's having some of the same issues as Nathaniel Hackett. I mean, you would think, worse. You would think that he's a first-year coach. Mike McCarthy, he's went 12-4, so I'll give him his flowers because he did that back-to-back seasons, as you continue to point out, which
12 wins ain't easy to do.
12 wins ain't easy to do, but was he a great coach because he had Aaron Rodgers? You know what I mean? And it's just Bill Belichick. I mean, we can't overstate the obvious. He hasn't been the same since Tom Brady hasn't been there.
Well, he also hasn't had the same teams either. You know, he's had pretty good defenses, but offensively, they've been terrible.
But is that his fault, right? Because
I've
always felt like the Patriots took Tom Brady for granted and figured out how to find the cheapest player that they could find to fit their system. And the minute that somebody started the ball out, and I mean, I used to make a joke, the easiest way out of New England is to ask for a raise. Like just ask them for more money or extension or something like that. And they will figure out how to trade you for a third rounder or fifth rounder. I mean, and at the time, we looked at Bill Belichick and was like, you know what? He drafts really well for his system. And we always say, you know, hey, he doesn't need a first rounder. He can take some second and third rounders and he can get it done. He can get them to buy into the system. And he was largely successful doing that. But now, I mean, you got like teams like the Dolphins that are just like, you know, we're going to throw some money at it. And okay, you run out there with that 5th round draft pick if you want. and this was going to happen. I mean, I really love Bill Belichick, but the Saints whooped their ass this weekend, man.
They've been getting smoked all year.
It was back-to-back 35-point. It looks bad. And his refusal to move on from Mac Jones, I don't get it.
Well, probably because he's at practice and Bailey Zappi, whatever he is, stinks. Now, I don't know why. Maybe they should go get a free agent that's on the street, like a Carson Wentz, or I don't know. But Mac Jones, the thing with Mac Jones, he's just not making like good decisions. It's just like, dog, that's why you got drafted, because of your decision making, not because of your athletic ability. You can't run. You know, they hired you or drafted you because, you know, you made the right decisions. But he had a decent rookie year. Rookie year. He made the Pro Bowl. And then they did him wrong last year. With who they hired. And maybe he's just punch drunk from that. I don't know, but he looks terrible. And he's making like horrid decisions. It's not even like oh, he missed that throw. No, one, he's throwing it late and like throwing across the field, and I don't know. So he needs to fix that. Now, here's the thing. What's their record? 1-3?
Yes.
Or 1-4, something like that. So I feel like with the Patriots, they always have the what's like what Mike Tomlin has, right? Like he's gonna find a way to get some of these wins, some of these games that they have coming up. They're gonna find a way to whether they muddy it up or do whatever and find a way to get to 8-9 wins. Now I'm not saying that they're gonna get to 8 wins because that's saying that they're gonna win 7 of their next whatever. And I don't know if that happens, but they're not gonna look this bad going throughout the season.
I want to tell you right now, they look like the 1986 Patriots. Like they look like the old Patriot teams from the 80s.
But 1986 Patriots, I don't think they were bad. That was the year after they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about though. Those 80s Patriots when they had the Patriot on the helmet, they was.
So I mean, we're gonna see. But again, it's really early in the season. It's week 5. We're starting to get to the bye week. Man, before we talk about the bye weeks, let's get to the winner of the week.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
See, I wanted to cancel my winner of the week because I feel like we already talked about it. But you know, my winner of the week, it couldn't not be Micah Parsons.
What?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so much for talking about what we're gonna talk about. Let's get it going. Why is Micah Parsons your winner of the week?
That bullshit that he said about now it's personal. Get the fuck out of here! Like, yo, we needed you to show up Sunday night. You talking about now after that butt whipping that is personal now? Where were you the last 2 seasons? We've already beat a dead horse. I don't want to get too much into it, but when I heard that, I was just like, absolutely my winner of the week. Just shut up, go home, get better, and come back. It's just, it's crazy. It's mind-boggling now. It is mind-boggling. I figured it would piss you off that he was the winner of the week. That I doubled down on it and say, you know what? Because I knew he was going to start the show with that. But you know, I had digressed. But hey, I had to go back to it.
Can I go?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Jesus. So here's the thing. And you dirty. Oh man. All right. So one, I would say that Michael Parsons is not winner of the week worthy. Right. I will say that. And when he spoke on his podcast, which I see Abdul saying something, you know, if he was on your team, you wouldn't be saying that, but whatever. Now him saying it about making it personal, or if you want to make it personal, he's talking about. Here's the thing with Micah Parsons. One, we gotta remember that he's only like 22, and I think Micah Parsons is such a good-hearted person that I don't know if he took those guys personally. He just wants to play, right? I don't know. Now, me personally, knowing the type of person that I am, it's personal for me. It is what it is. So should he not said that? He probably could have said something else. He used another choice of words in regard because he was talking about
George
Kittle's shirt and everything. How I feel about that is, me personally, I don't have a problem with George Kittle wearing that shirt. This is a rivalry that goes back to the damn 80s, 70s, right?
Gary Plummer did that.
Right. So I don't have a problem. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that, right? But, and I just brought this to you before the show started, but if the roles were reversed, if the Cowboys won 42-10, and Micah Parsons had on a F San Francisco shirt, it wouldn't have been all cheers and glee going around on all these. They would have said they don't know how to win. They're classless. Look at them. They're not used to winning. They're doing X, Y, and Z. And I feel like that's where the BS is, because me personally, I like it because I would do something like that. I've done stuff like that, whether it was coaching high school, playing. I've personally made T-shirts, right, for the occasion. So there's been times where I played in championship games, and I damn sure had on whatever year it was, whether it was the Royals, the Saints, the Viper, whoever it was, underneath my shirt saying that we were the champions of that league. I've done it multiple times. It ain't work all the time, but I've done it, you know? So yes, I can get petty like that, and I don't mind it, but we have to keep the same energy, right? Because we know for a fact if somebody on Dallas was to do something like that, it would be front page news. They wouldn't even talk about the win. That would be the angle that they take. Instead of congratulating Dallas on the win, they would be talking about, oh, look at them wearing this T-shirt. How do you feel about it? He should be fine. Well, George Kittle might be fine, but my thing is they're not keeping the same energy, and that's where I hold people in the world accountable. Because yes, you can say this about the Cowboys, right? Oh, here's the other. Oh, they ain't won in 27, 28 years, right? They ain't won a Super Bowl in that long. Yada yada yada. So when you bring up a sheet or a thing that shows all these teams that ain't won that hasn't won a Super Bowl since the last Cowboy Super Bowl, they be like, yeah, but at least some of them went to the conference final. That's not what you said. Don't move the goalposts. Let's keep the same energy, because here's my thing. If you don't win the Super Bowl, you just like everybody else. Like there's only one champion every year. So if you ain't won the Super Bowl, what does it matter? Yeah, you got to the conference championship. Well, we got the divisional round. You had an extra week of practice. Well, who gives a shit? So back to Micah Parsons, he shouldn't have said that. It should have already been personal, but that's not winner of the week worthy.
It was
not winner of the week worthy.
The way he said it and said they're not too far off, and it's bad timing, man.
So hear me out. Now I will say this. I totally understand what he's saying when he says, because if you think about it, it was an 8-point game in the third quarter. It was an 8-point game, or I'm sorry, maybe 11, whatever it was. It wasn't, and it snowballed in the fourth quarter. But come on, we all know that the Cowboys and the 49ers are much closer than 42-10. And if you don't believe that, then you're crazy. I'm gonna just say it like that. You're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they'll have another opportunity.
Maybe, but hey, listen. Questionable. I might tell you, take the spread. Don't take the money line on the Browns. Don't take the money line on the Browns. Take the spread, though.
You know Deshaun Watson's not playing.
Huh?
Deshaun Watson's not playing.
So they didn't say if it was for sure yet.
I believe so. I gotta check. But yeah, they
I know he didn't practice today.
PJ Walker and
I saw that, but I will say this. The 49ers offense got their hands full this Sunday. Because what people are gonna, I don't know what time that game is, and I don't know where the game is played. I think the game is in Cleveland, right?
Right.
The 49ers offense, mark my words here, got their hands full. Because that Browns defense.
Oh, the Browns defense is legitimate, but
I want to see Myles Garrett, Trent Williams. That's what I want to see.
It's going to be a matchup.
And because I know Trent Williams is. I think he's lost a little bit of a step, but Myles Garrett different. He's different.
So, but let me ask you this though: Is he? I mean, we just saw Michael Parsons, right? And you know, some would argue that, and some have argued on this show that Michael Parsons is
the best.
Is the best.
Okay.
We just went up against the best, and I mean, it was so. I mean, it was okay. And now I think that Myles Garrett, he's playing out of his mind, but I'm a little optimistic. We just went against Michael Parsons, and some will argue that, you know, a matter of fact, I think we all argued last year between Myles Garrett. I believe it was T.J. Watt might have been in there.
And Michael Parsons.
Nick Bosa, and we talked about Michael Parsons. And they were all four on the same level playing field. So I think we're going to be physical, as we always are. I think the Browns are no joke. But I do love the fact that Deshaun probably won't be playing. And if they got to put P.J. Walker out there, who's 2-3 as a starter, I like our odds.
I ain't talking about when. Listen, all right. Okay. I'll just say this, and I won't say it. I won't say it again. Cowboys just played a bad game, and it is what it is. You know, can I tell you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I tell you something? When the 49ers played the Chiefs last year, and I'm not saying the Browns are the Chiefs, but when the 49ers played the Chiefs last year, I want to say Garoppolo started. Did he get hurt? I think he got hurt, and then Garoppolo got hurt that game, and then they brought in Brock Purdy. And again, I'm not comparing them, but it was the same defense with some other pieces, right? With some other pieces. I'm not saying that. I just want y'all to be humble, okay?
We're not going to be humble because we had a lot of injuries.
Who?
The 49ers.
When? This year?
When we played the Chiefs. I mean, that defense.
No way. Yeah, Kittle was there. CMC. I mean, that was CMC's first game, right? Go
back and look at it. We
did. Remember, we did. We was on the show, and I was like, well, Garoppolo played, Debo played, Ayuk played, George Kittle played, CMC played.
We wasn't all the way. You can't compare that team to now. This team right now.
What's the difference?
We're completely healthy, and we were not completely healthy last year. I mean, it was now. That makes a difference.
Now, again, so it's week 5. It's week 5. Okay, it's week 5.
And that makes a difference going on the rest of the season. But I don't think we should be humble. I think
you should.
No.
You know why you should? Because not near person on that team has done a thing.
I think that we just need to live in our moment. And
Go ahead.
And right now, the reality of it is we put a ass whooping on a team that is quote unquote a Super Bowl contender. Are
they not?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way that we made them look, if you're a 49er fan, you have to.
So what happens if you lose? So what happens if you lose to the Browns? Does it mean nothing?
No, it doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't mean nothing if you lose to the Browns?
Look, we're gonna lose games.
Oh, not the way some of y'all talk.
No. I mean,
I really heard
that we're not going undefeated. I don't believe that we're going undefeated, but I
let me ask you this.
know that we matched up against a Dallas team that's supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
Some may even consider that a top 5 defense. I think some people have even argued that defense was better than the 49er defense. We made their defense look like shit. We were more physical. I mean,
I said it. I've posted it. I said we got bullied. We got punked. All of the above. I saw it was people tapping out. You could tell. So it is what it is, right? Does that continue throughout the season? I doubt it.
But we
right?
smacked. Pittsburgh is just as physical.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I mean, you've got to give them their credit, right?
No, no.
The Rams have been playing tough. You know, they're a tough team. I mean, my team 5 weeks in looked really good. So, I mean, when people say, "Oh yeah, you should humble yourself,"
you should.
Somebody's got to humble us, and it won't be the Brown.
I didn't say I'm still taking them on the spread. Y'all gonna win the game. Deshaun Watson's not playing. They don't have Nick Chubb. If the Browns win that game, that'd be a bigger upset than the Cardinals beating the Cowboys.
No.
How? Tell me how. They don't have Deshaun Watson who gets 230. Stop it. They don't have Deshaun Watson. They don't have Nick Chubb.
Look,
they don't have their two best players.
Well, let me tell you, right?
Are you kidding me?
Let me tell you. I'm just going to be frank,
Jesus
right?
Christ.
The Cardinals are overachieving right now, right? And I think people would agree that they've been playing. They deserve a lot of credit. When they played the Cowboys, people were thinking that the Cardinals could be one of the worst teams in the NFL. Nobody, even Cardinal fans did not think that they could beat the Cowboys.
That's a lie, Scott. The Cardinals have beaten the Cowboys 7 of the last 8 times.
Nobody thought the Cardinals were going to beat the Cowboys.
We could call Jamal right now, and we had that conversation like, yo, we going to Arizona, and we just don't play well in Arizona.
But y'all really thought that the Cardinals?
I don't think the Cowboys are ever going to lose.
Okay.
So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But with that being said, I definitely said, yo, I don't know, going to Arizona, which is which I use Jamal. I'll quote Jamal is like a house of horrors for the Cowboys. No matter how good our team, we went there one time when we were great, and what's his name, McCown or whatever, destroyed us, and we went like 13-3 that year. I'm telling you, listen, you may not believe it, but it happens. There's just gonna be places that you go that you just can't win. It is what it is.
So I believe that, right? And again, that's a fun fact that I didn't know. You know what I mean? And maybe most Cowboy fans will know, but I'm telling you, and you can look at.
They were 11.5 point favorites. I get that. I don't know. Somebody find out what the spread for the Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubbless Browns are. You're telling me that they don't have their best two players.
So you know what the spread was? The spread was the 49ers win by 3. Now it's a +7 spread. That's what the spread was. They had us winning by a field goal with Deshaun Watson. Without Deshaun Watson, with PJ Walker in there, it's a +7 spread.
And it might go up because they just I don't even know.
No, that was today when they announced it.
I understand, but has Deshaun Watson been declared out? He's not out yet. He's just questionable.
But a +7 or a +3 is not the biggest upset. You asked what was a bigger upset. No, and I'm telling you that most people did not believe that the Cardinals was going to beat the Cowboys. Now, there was reasons, right? So if you look at it, you guys didn't have all your offensive linemen.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs just got hurt 3 days before.
So there were reasons that if you would have looked a little bit deeper into it, you would have been like, you know what? The Cardinals have a shot to win, but people ain't think that. People were shocked that the Cowboys lost to the Cardinals. And not only did they lose, would y'all lose by 10 points, 14 or 12 points? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that was a shock. That was a shock. People did not see that coming.
So you're telling me that that a Browns team without Deshaun Watson, without what's his name, Nick Chubb, and they was to win that game, it wouldn't be a huge upset.
It'd be a
forget the spread. Forget the spread because I'm talking about.
It'll be a huge upset. But what we're arguing is,
would it be a bigger upset? And forget this. I'm talking about what we see in front of us.
So let's go back, right? Let's back up. First week of the season, the Cowboys beat the Giants by 40.
Right.
Beat the Giants by 40.
Right.
Right.
Everybody's been beating the Giants.
The following week, the Giants beat Arizona. It was a close game.
Was that the next?
It was the following week.
Yeah, because they had just played Washington.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arizona was up on
like 34 something at halftime.
And the Giants
34-6
and the Giants ended up coming back.
Right.
The assumption, and this is just me, right? So I'll just speak for me, is the Cowboys beat this team by 40 points. It was a dogfight with Arizona. There is no way that Arizona is going to beat the Cowboys. To me, that was a huge upset. Now, missing two Hall of Famers, a Pro Bowler, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, and missing an All Pro. Losing your All Pro for the season 2 days prior or 3 days prior. That doesn't matter. It all matters.
So that can't be a big.
But people is not saying that though. People is not saying that
because it was the Cowboys. They'll never say that. They'll never bring up facts when it's the Cowboys. They're gonna say, "Oh, Dak sucks," or "Oh, this and that." They'll never say, "Oh." They didn't even say last year the Cowboys were down to 7 and 8 with their DBs. So I don't want to hear about injuries. We were down to our 7th and 8th on the depth chart with DBs. You brought up injuries. Now you also said, "Yo, we're fully healthy." Did you just not say that? Just 10 minutes ago.
Healthy.
He said, "Y'all fully healthy now, and y'all got everybody. Everybody's good. Y'all clicking on all cylinders. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all just put up 42 points on Dallas." The Browns don't got Nick Chubb, who's an All-Pro. They don't have Deshaun Watson, who's a damn good quarterback, and missing some linemen. And you're telling me that wouldn't be a bigger upset than the Cowboys losing to Arizona? You're bugging. You're bugging.
No, I think that you're missing the point. I think. Look, and I'm just going to be fair with this, right? Cowboys fans, and this is the reality of it. Is sometimes when you guys lose, you go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? Maybe we were overhyped, right? Maybe we didn't take this into account. And you're right? All those things with Pro Bowlers and all that stuff matters. But at the time, people didn't give Arizona a chance.
Listen, you do know that it's not like we knew that Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, and Terrence Steele wasn't going to play. That we found that out that day. It wasn't like we knew the week going into the game. We found out on Sunday morning. What are you talking about? Of course, hold on, hear me out. So, of course, at that time, they're going to say, yeah, the Cowboys are still going to win. The Cowboys are still going to win. And anybody that knows football and anybody that's been watching NFL knows that the linemen in the NFL suck. So if you at the backup, like, ain't no backups coming in the game and killing it like that. Because they're not. You're not. If one of your starters go down on the O-line, your O-line is gonna stink that week. It's go, and you can go and look. You can look at the Bengals. You can look at the Rams. You can look at any team you want to think about that's lost the line. Just one. Not even three. Just one. And their offense totally changes. You know why? Because backup linemen in the NFL stink. That's why. So if you lose 3 starters and 2 of them that's going to the Hall of Fame, you're damn right. You're probably not going to win that game. And you lost an All-Pro at corner on Thursday before the game on Sunday. What are you talking about? Now,
but with all that being said, and nobody is disputing that you're not right. I mean, those are things that people should.
Scott, you are disputing that I'm right.
No,
because you're saying that.
What you're trying to tell me is that we didn't think that the Cowboys, that the Cardinals were going to win that game. You're trying to tell me that you thought that people thought that the Cardinals are going to win the game.
Forget about before the game, Scott. Forget about before the game.
Okay.
So we're talking about What the game happened already.
Why are we even talking about this? The 49ers are going to whip the Browns' ass.
So
you can bet on them. You can disagree. We hear about the whoop they ass. So it really doesn't even matter if they did. You know what? You are right, because right now I'm not giving them an opportunity to win.
You lucky Baker Mayfield. You lucky Baker Mayfield not on the Browns.
You're right. It will be an upset because I don't believe the Browns are going to beat the 49ers. So you're right.
Hold on, and you could try and be condescending all you want.
I'm not. You're right.
So I don't know who this Kevin Elliott guy is, but Kevin, I'll tell you something. What does that have to do with anything? What we're talking about? We already acknowledged that the Cowboys lost. Anyway, I don't got time to talk about. I don't got time to talk about foolishness and this Kevin Elliott guy. Thank you for tuning in, Kevin. By the way, thank you for tuning in. I ain't gonna do you that bad because you're tuned in, okay? But you shut the hell up. You and your little the three linemen throwing three interceptions. Shut the hell up. Now that's what I was saying.
And I gotta address something too. If you want a house or you want a car, your good friend Phil will co-sign with you. He'll definitely co-sign on any loan that you got.
Well, he got good credit, so I take it. He got good credit, man. Have you seen his house? His house is just as big as this damn palace. But anyway, that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Now, I want because here's the question, and more people. I'm not picking the Browns to win this game. I don't think, especially without Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb, I don't think they really stand a chance. I do think that their defense is going to give the 49ers fits because they damn sure are physical. Like,
so let me ask you this, though, and this is a legitimate question. Mm-hmm. You think the Browns defense is better than Dallas defense?
At right now, yes. And that's because we have injuries. That's not making it. I mean, not having Trayvon Diggs, it changes our defense like a lot because now you got Bland, who we want to play in the slot. He has to play outside. We have to play Jordan Lewis sometimes outside and things like that. So it changes. Then Van Der Esch is hurt now, but Van Der Esch he's damn near a liability in the passing game.
Will it be a close game? It'll be a lot close.
It's not NFL. It's not going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't know.
But the Browns. So I watched the Browns a lot, right? Because I had vested interest in Nick Chubb, and I've been watching.
Their defense is
Jerome
legit,
Ford
man,
and all those guys. So the defense is legit, but the team is sloppy. It's a real up and down 2-2 team. I was hoping that Deshaun Watson would come back because I was the last game he played really well. Before he went out with the injury, right? Mm-hmm. And then last game it just went to poop again. And I mean,
who did they? I think they played the Titans. Was it the Titans?
No, yeah, it might have been the Titans before the bye, right? Yeah. So it's hard for me to put any stock in them. I agree. Myles Garrett is playing out of his mind, and they got a solid defense, but it is the injury with Chubb and without Deshaun Watson, it's going to be tough for him.
Hey, yo, I'm telling you, I'm just because you get on my nerve, and I ain't gonna do it though. I ain't gonna bet on.
You should, man. You should, man. Go ahead and bet on the Browns, man.
Let me see what this money line hitting on. But no. Without Deshaun Watson, I'm definitely not taking the Browns. But I do feel like, and it's gonna be but so much you can do when your offense is not clicking. So I think that their defense is going to they're going to be a lot more physical than Dallas was last week. And I just think it's one they had they're coming off a bye. They're coming off a bye and they saw what happened. They don't want to get embarrassed. So I think that their defense, Now, here's the thing. If they can find a way to turn y'all over, then because eventually he's going to throw interceptions. And I'm telling you, they have, what's his name that's on the other side of Myles Garrett that used to play for Green Bay? Smith, right? I'll say this also. The 49ers line isn't as good as they were last year. Hear me out. I ain't say the line is bad. I'm not saying that the line is bad. But what I am saying is, because even on Sunday, he had pressure at times, right? It just so happens that these motherfuckers was wide the hell open. So it is what it is. But there was pressure on. We're not gonna act like there wasn't any pressure on Brock Purdy. There was times where he had to get off the spot and things of that nature.
There was pressure, but you're talking about a top tier defense. I mean, you guys can make all the excuses.
What excuse did I make, Scott? What excuse did I make?
I mean,
what are you talking about? What excuse did I make?
It sounds like you're trying to take away from the talent that you guys have on your team.
What? How? I said that your line is not as good as it was last year.
So what I'm saying is that the defense is good. They're going to get pressure on our team. I mean, it's a solid defense. I mean,
I never said it wasn't. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm talking about the game coming up. I'm just
saying it does come off a little. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe
don't lose, Scott. I'm telling you now.
We won't
I'm
lose.
I'm telling you now.
We didn't lose. We didn't lose last week.
Listen,
we won't lose.
No. I can care less.
You guys don't lose because you know what? That Chargers game, if you lose it, it's a wrap. It's a money. You're actually
because we'll be 3-3.
You'll be 3-3.
So
it
we'll be 3-3, and we're out of the playoffs.
Look,
our season is over.
That's the game you need to be worried about is the Chargers and the Cowboys. Because if y'all lose to that Charger team,
then we lose
a wrap for the season, bro.
How?
It's a wrap, man.
Tell me how. Tell me how
it's a wrap.
Tell me how is it a wrap?
Because you guys will be forced to face the reality that it's not working. It's not working.
At 3-3, it's not working. Can I tell you something?
Beat the Jets. You beat the
Giants.
And what is it? Patriots.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be a
so that means the season. I'm glad you brought that up, right? I'm glad.
Yeah, that's the game you really should be worried about. If you lose or not.
I don't have to be worried about it.
You should be.
No, but I'm gonna get to something that won't be a big upset. If the Chargers are probably favorite, they're home. But hold on 1 second.
They are favorite because when you play them Niners, it's a 2-18 record.
Hold on, that means nothing to me. I want to go back to this season, because, and I'm not comparing us to any team, but you said something about that if we lose that game, it's a wrap. The season is over. You know how stupid you sound saying that, and how misinformed you sound. If we lose to a Chargers team who I don't even know what their record is, that I think they're 2-2 as well, or 3-1, whatever, that it's a wrap. The season is over. That might be the dumbest thing you've ever said. You think you guys are going to overcome that? 3-3.
I want to be honest, and you asked why, right? I don't think you guys are mentally tough to overcome that. I think if you go 3-3 and you lose them 3, I
think you sound foolish.
No,
that's what I'm telling you.
I'm just being a realist with it. I don't think you guys are that mentally tough.
Okay. What makes you say that we're not mentally tough?
And I think you guys are fragile enough to where if you lose to the Chargers, it's a wrap for the season. Hey, it's a hot take.
It's a hot take. It's a terrible take, by the way. It's terrible. It's you almost sound like you almost sound like one of them people, one of those talking heads, to say that after 6 games, going 3-3, that the season is over. That is by far.
I don't think you guys can overcome that.
Why?
I just told you. I don't think you're mentally tough enough to overcome losing to the Chargers. Okay. And I think you're in a must-win situation.
We're not in a must-win situation.
You have to win this game.
Scott, they don't lose to the Browns that don't have their starting quarterback, running back.
We're 5-0. 5-0.
Congratulations.
5-0.
Congratulations. I never heard of a champion that was 5-0.
We're 5-0, but we're not on the verge of being 3-3. Don't lose that game.
You're on the verge of being 5-1.
Don't lose that game.
You're on the verge of being 5-1.
Hey, we're not going to lose to the Browns. But I tell you
we're not going to lose to the Chargers. Then bet on the Chargers then. Bet on the Chargers. And trust me, and if you don't think I'm going to take all of these clips and have them ready Wednesday morning next week. So be careful what you say, Scott, because I'm nice with Final Cut Pro. And you know it. And I have each clip and you know
what? Fuck it. I'm going against my will.
Good.
I'm going with the Chargers.
Good. You don't even believe it. You don't even believe it.
I don't. But you know what?
Good.
I'm going with the Chargers.
Go with the Chargers.
I'm going with the Chargers.
You want to place a goddamn bet on it? No, because you wouldn't even bet on the damn 49ers game. Fuck out of here. Nah, we ain't doing no yoke 'em up on it. Nah, fuck that. Nah, we ain't doing that far. No way. But nah. But all jokes aside, it was a bad game. At the end of the day, it was a bad game. So now Mike Williams is out and Justin Herbert is playing. I think Mike Williams is the only one out on for the. I think Austin Eckler might not play. They say he might come back.
So he said he's 99%.
Yeah. So I mean, but we'll see. I mean, what Jonathan? Oh, we didn't even talk about Jonathan. Let's talk about before we get out of here. So I don't even know if that's going to be as interesting as the last 10 minutes that just happened. But so Jonathan Taylor came back. He got his new deal. He got his money. It was 3 years, $42 million. Right. I think 26 guaranteed, something like that. And Zach Moss has been killing it. Zach Moss has been playing in place of Jonathan Taylor, and I think that, well, you brought it up and you said that, you know, they put him on showcase last week because, I mean, I walked him down. That he helped me walk him down. So
I was pissed too.
Why?
I was like, damn, they can't get Jonathan to say, I know it's first week back.
So what you were saying was the Colts were putting Zach Moss on display to use him as trade bait. And I thought about it and I was like, that's a pretty good idea. But then Anthony Richardson got hurt. So do you still trade one of those? Well, they're not going to trade Jonathan Taylor. But do you trade Zach Moss or do you keep both of them now and have a two-headed monster and you still got Michael Pittman, you still got some of those younger receivers?
So I think you have to keep him now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Jonathan Taylor, he's X factor. I thought he looked pretty good. He didn't get a bunch of carries, but I thought the carries
he caught the ball out the backfield. Yeah.
What I saw, he looks pretty good. They are going to ramp up his workload this week, but I think you can't deny the best person has to play, right? Not saying that Zach Moss is better than Jonathan Taylor, but he's been doing his thing. I mean, you have to get him carries.
Let me tell you something. This ain't no hot take. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm giving the third for Zach Moss.
So let me ask you this.
Maybe a fourth.
And I know we got to get out of here, so I'll make it quick. Do you think the Cowboys overrated Tony Pollard? And to be fair, I'm going to say no for myself. but I've been hearing a lot of slick comments coming from you regarding Tony Pollard.
It was just for that game, man. No, it was just for that game. He looked like, hey, listen. Hey, listen. Tony Pollard played like a little. He did not play good last week. It was just that game. Like I think,
but we see this quite often, right? So the team doesn't want to pay the other running back, and that wasn't the case with Zeke. But we do see instances where the change of pace back looks really good. Like you're seeing it in Minnesota, right? With Madison, right? It looked really good when Dalvin Cook was the man, but then now he's in that primary role, and he had a pretty good game last game, but he has not looked the same.
He's been fumbling like crazy and all this. Yeah,
and it's the same thing with Tony
I call it the Alvin Harper effect, because everybody thought Alvin Harper was that guy when he was lined up opposite Michael Irvin, and then he go to I think it was Atlanta or wherever. Trash,
right? You
know what I'm saying? So. And I don't think Tony Pollard is trash. I honestly don't even think he's playing like trash. So here's one of the reasons, right? I think that we've played some sorry offenses. So we've been creating turnovers and scoring on defense. We don't have them enough possessions to get CeeDee Lamb the ball or Tony Pollard the ball. But last week. I don't know if he was hurt. There ain't no excuse. He looked like crap. That's the worst I've ever seen Tony Pollard look.
Yeah, but okay, so
because he don't even, and honestly, he don't even fumble like that.
Yeah, I said all that about the Cowboys, but I wouldn't be overly concerned with Pollard. I think Pollard's going to be all right. He'd be.
And at the end of the day, I said this after the game. I said it on Monday, and I'll say it today. At this moment right now, the 49ers are the best team in football. Now, don't do all of that crap, because there's a team in South Beach that they fly high. And I tell you what, they might be, people might think they finesse, but they damn near the same team. And when they get Jalen Ramsey back, I don't know.
So you're right.
I do think the 49ers are the best team right now.
Yeah, but we got the Eagles. That brotherly shove is
it's gonna work. Y'all not gonna stop that.
Yeah,
y'all not gonna stop that.
I don't think anybody in the NFL can stop the.
It's not gonna be stopped until the guys on that O-line go somewhere else. And I understand Jalen Hurts squats and benches whatever he benches, but Kelsey and they.
It's the best offensive line in football.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. So I mean,
and you gotta give Miami their credit. I think.
Yeah, those top two teams in the league by far. Yeah, by far. I would put Philly at 4. I put Kansas City at 3. Even though I know people are gonna say, whatever, you can say what you want about Kansas City is Kansas City, and I still have them. I think they're the third best team in the league.
Well, I'll say this, right? It's a long season. Right now we're healthy. We haven't been healthy in a while.
Yo, the weather barely changed yet. The weather ain't changed yet, man.
We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, it's all nice and dandy when Brock Purdy finally gets some adversity, because let's be honest. He had no adversity yet. Well, I mean, Eagles, but
he is a baller.
The Eagles knocked his ass out.
But Brock Purdy, it's time for him to start getting his credit. And
he's playing well. So I'll say this: I do think it's a system, right? I think it's a system, but some of the throws that he make ain't system throws. Like so for instance, I give you a perfect example where I was like, he all right. So it was 3rd and long. Threw the ball to the sideline to Ayuk. First of all, there wasn't nobody on the screen. Listen, I'm talking about on the TV screen next to Ayuk. Nobody, right? There wasn't nobody on the screen next to Ayuk. But he made that pass, and I'm like, and I'm yelling because I was at TAP. I'm yelling like, where the hell is everybody? What's going on, right? So it was a holding call. It comes back. It's 3rd and 14. That pass that he made to Deebo Samuel down the middle, like I understand Deebo Samuel was open, right? But he threw it over the linebacker in between 2 defenders in the secondary. And I said, that's a hell of a throw. That might have been the best throw I've ever seen him make, right? Because the way what he had to do, and at the end of the day, Shanahan is putting him in position to be good.
But here's the thing that I don't think he's getting credit for. He's improving. So, I
got hold on one second. I'm gonna put my boy G. I'm gonna keep that on the screen real quick, right? I'm gonna answer this question for you, G. I'm gonna answer this question. You know why? You know why Josh Johnson couldn't do the same goddamn thing? Because Josh Johnson is older than me. He's almost 50 years old, and he played for every team in the league. No, he got too many systems in his head. That's why he couldn't do that. But you know who else? You know who did what Brady's doing? Garoppolo. He didn't throw it. He didn't throw it down the field as much, but and Purdy doesn't throw the ball down the field that much. let's not. No, Purdy does not throw the ball down. He's
better than Garoppolo.
I'm not saying that he's not, but what I'm saying is Purdy doesn't throw the field down the ball down. He doesn't throw the ball down the field that much.
He doesn't have to.
Exactly, because they're running crossing routes and they're wide the fuck open. So that's what I'm saying. Saying it's the system is not necessarily a bad thing, right?
No. But it's a good. He fits the system. He does fit the system, but I think that we're downplaying that. Okay, this guy is
Purdy's good. Purdy's good.
He's good. And at the end of the day, I think he needs to start getting his credit.
I don't. So I wouldn't say. I'm not gonna, because here's what's gonna happen, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. 49er fans, trust me. Because I have experience with this. This is what's gonna happen, right? Purdy was nice in college. We know he went to Iowa State, But this is what's gonna happen, and I hope it doesn't, because that's what we're dealing with now, right? They're gonna say Mr. Irrelevant. That needs to go out the window. I mean, he was a 4-year starter, if I'm not mistaken, or he was in school for 4 years. I can't remember if he was a 4-year starter or not. But you know, he's playing good ball. If you know something happens where he goes on a little slump, right? Because that happens. Tom Brady, all the good ones have had slumps. They're gonna bring up, he's Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. It's gonna happen, which that shouldn't come up at all, because at this point he hasn't lost a regular season game as a starter. So I don't think that, but you know, that's what they're gonna do. You know, it is what it is. We'll see what the Browns have to say about that, man. I don't know. I don't even know who y'all got after the Browns, but I ain't gonna lie, man. You know, if guys stay healthy, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to beat the 49ers. That's not me being funny. It's the truth. I mean, the system that Shanahan has, but we've seen Shanahan be successful in a regular season umpteen times. It's about January. He's the only coordinator that had a 28-3 lead. Dan Quinn was there too. But you know, it happened against the Rams. So I don't know why, and I said this to you before. He's not held accountable as much as he should be, because Shanahan is a Coach of the Year candidate every year. It ain't. We've seen this already. Well, I can tell you now, y'all lucked up again, because y'all got.
Because you know why he's not, and I'll say this before we leave real quick.
Yeah, we've been supposed to leave like 30 minutes, but not good.
But as a 49er fan, I think the reality sets in, right? So we went through the Jim Harbaugh years, we went through the Chip Kelly, we went through all those. I don't honestly feel like that there's necessarily another coach that I would rather kick the tires on and replace Shanahan. So even though, yeah, he's probably not held accountable, I still like what he does consistently. It's almost like a Mike Tomlin or Jim Harbaugh thing, to where I'm sure like those fan bases get frustrated with their coach at times, but I'm not like, hey, let's go ahead and get rid of this guy, bring him in. So I like Shanahan.
All right, so I'm telling you now, I can't believe this game is there. See, y'all got the Browns this week. I'm giving y'all that. I got the Browns this week. And the Vikings the week after that on Monday night. Unfortunately, Justin Jefferson's hurt. I'm giving y'all that. October 29th.
So we played it, the Eagles December 5th. Who's October 29th?
Y'all play the Eagles December 3rd.
December 3rd.
October 29th. Joey B. Yeah, y'all play the Bengals. I can't wait. They gonna dog walk y'all, motherfuckers. T. Higgins will be back. Joe Mixon will be there. Joe Burrow.
Pray on our downfall.
Nah. Joe Burrow's my guy. Yes, I would take Andy Reid over Shanahan. I would take Andy Reid over Shanahan. You wouldn't? You would.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I don't know whose defense he said couldn't stop the Pats, but
all right, well, shoot, man.
And but yeah, man. So it's homecoming this week. We're gonna have some content for the game, for the yard, everything. So stay tuned. Real quick before we go, last weekend we covered Bowie State's homecoming. We supposed to do Bowie State and Morgan, but unfortunately Morgan didn't have a homecoming game because of some incidents that happened on campus. So nonetheless, we're gonna get some content. We're gonna keep on bringing y'all stuff, and yeah.